Am. Hey y'all. Thank you for being here with me. It's been a long time, child. I don't even know when I last went live, but YouTube was like, Beach, we not finna send out no notification because you're not here. I hope you're doing well. Thank you to the people that's here. Thank you so much. And I hope you're having a good morning. To the people that's gonna be on the replay, shout out to you as well. Let me make sure. Oh yes, I took that thing off. So child, before we get into the topics of the day, I want to say that I'm hoping, I would say within the next, excuse me, the next 2 months is probably the most realistic timeline. I'll be able to be more consistent. I'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, that's my plan. That's my plan so we can get back to weekly lives and hopefully at least a weekly video. But right now it's just really, really tough. But I'm doing good. Things are actually really good right now. But there's some things that are in motion that I'm trying to wrap up and get together. So then we'll figure that out in a couple months. And I will be filming from a different place. It'll be nice. Anyway, I'm so excited to give you guys an update. But I'll tell you more as time goes on. Child, I've been so busy that I have not been keeping up with like yeah, I don't. Some of you guys who've been here for a while, you know that I like observe the new moon and the full moon cycles, and I was like, child, I missed. I think it was the Capricorn new moon. Hey, Simple Living, it's so good to see you. I was thinking about you the other day, like, man, I have not seen my old school people in a while because I haven't been on here. Thank you so much for being in this live. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're still gardening. I remember Simple Living loved to garden. Child, I'm still benefiting off of my husband's green thumb. I did plant a little something something this year, but Jeff did help me. And I know that if I forget to water them, he'll be on it. He's just naturally inclined that way. But yeah, it's been a good year. It's been things are going well. But like I said, I have some good exciting updates for you guys. Kwamito Bito is doing well. He well yeah, you guys know he turned 2 in May. He's growing fast. He has lots of words and phrases. And one of my favorite things about being a parent is just things that we take for granted, whether it's things around us or outside, or even language as it's developing. You just see how pure and simple things are for them. And we just take things for granted. So, my son reminds me a lot to just slow down and just, yeah, check out that bird that's up there in that tree. You know, it's really, I'm very grateful for that. Yes, there's times that it's hard, but it's all worth it, at least for me. And actually, I get really annoyed. This is not one of my topics, but I get so annoyed because a lot of people assume that people with kids are miserable. And yes, there are times that it's very hard, but a lot of us chose that path. Yes, some of us, it just happened for whatever reason. Maybe it wasn't planned, but those people are happy too. Some of them, right? Some of them aren't. But I just get so mad when I hear hating ass people, Yes, I know. He's too. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Just hating ass people like, oh yeah, you're unhappy because you got kids and just stupid stuff. It's like, no, your ass is unhappy because if you're living your best life, you don't have time to be projecting your mess on other people. Like it. Sometimes I just sit back and listen to people, and I'm like, you projecting like, mm, let me not curse too much. It's only 6 minutes into the video, but yeah, he is too simple living. Oh, I will make sure I send those kisses to him. I dropped them off at grandma and grandpa's house right before this. So I have a little bit of time this morning. So I just want to come on here and talk some smack and just be honest with y'all. Be honest and get into some things. Might share a little bit more about my journey and stuff at the end. We'll see if we have time. But listen, there's so much going on. Um, I'm gonna see. Let's start with. I'm not gonna start with the FBI thing because listen, I didn't want to put it in the title because YouTube them do all kind of things and block all kinds of stuff. But YouTube, child, when I was researching this topic, the FBI isn't just investigating 500 truckers, y'all. They're investigating 500 aerial illas. Okay, I had to drop the first letter for each word. Aerial illas. They're all truckers. When I read this story, I came across it on LSA. I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't shookest. And I'm a very careful person. Like I don't hitchhike. I mean, I don't have a reason to, but even if I did, I promise you, I'm gonna camp out in the desert or the woods before I hitchhike with anybody, man, woman, anybody. I just don't trust people. Like, yes, there's good people out there, but you just never know. But child, when we get into the story, it's going to blow your wig back because it's like this is so crazy. So I'm gonna save that and see if more people come. But if not, we're definitely gonna get into it. Um, I want to talk about Baby Reindeer too, but not as long. And then the mysterious Monoliths. I don't know if you guys have been following that story. I don't know a ton about it, but I think it's very fascinating. So let's start with Baby Reindeer, unless you haven't watched it or it's gonna be a spoiler alert for you, then we'll move it along. But I'm not gonna talk a lot about it, but I want to save the trucker story for the next, for the second story. So, child, Baby Reindeer. First of all, trigger warning. I don't know. I've just been real sensitive. I mean, I've always been sensitive to certain topics, but like, this movie really, really got me in a way that I didn't think it would get me. I mean, this show got me in a way I didn't think it would get me. And it starts out with this man who works in a bar, and he was nice to this one woman who came in there one day, and ever since then she's just been locked on him, like obsessed, like super duper obsessed. She found out his where he lived, his number. She was showed up to his job every day. It was very cringy, and then it took me halfway through the show to realize that it was actually based on a true story. So I was just watching this, and it's entertaining, and I was getting very annoyed at this woman, very annoyed, just very triggered because I mean, I've had a couple situations that were a little suspect, nothing like that. But I've definitely had people that I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? They won't leave me alone. It's just like, what's going on? Um, so I was very triggered by that, but I was not prepared. I think it was episode 4. If you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it, please be mindful that episode 4, because they just throw it in there. And I didn't know the story was going to take that turn. I actually, even though the woman was getting on my nerves, I actually enjoyed the storyline as it was. And then they threw in a huge wrench of like, basically what they threw in explained why the guy had been blowing it off. Because I was just thinking, he's not really responding much to this woman. Like he's not doing enough to like keep her at bay. And I do find that to be common with men who are victims of stalking. Actually, I've witnessed that with like my own client. Like my own client had a situation where I believe it was serious stalking, and he was disturbed, but I was more disturbed than him. And at one point I said to him, I said, look, if you were, whatever I had shared with him, I said, I would be sharing this with a woman as well. And you just seem like real, oh, I don't really need this restraining order. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't that he wasn't concerned, but they have a very different attitude. Part of that, I'm sure, is stigma. But I was just thinking, if this was a woman, I would be in fear for her life. Like, okay, maybe this stalker woman can't overpower you, but people got all kinds of way to get to you. That's, you know what I'm saying? So I've noticed that with men, and even in the research, whether it's DV or stalking, they just blow stuff off or they don't report it. And it's very interesting. And so and there were a couple times that he almost like pulled her in too, right? Like it's like he liked the attention, but then it got real quick. So I'm gonna get to the part where I want to say it was episode 4, because it's like a mini series, or what is it, limited series? I love limited series because I like closure. This is why I can't do soap operas. And so we get to see episode 4, and there is this huge turnaround in the story, and this man wanted so bad to be a comedian that uh he ended up in situations that were like, to me, I saw some of it coming because I was like, this guy gives me weird vibes. Like the actor who played the creepo, not the woman, the male creepo, he did a very good job because I hated his ass by the end of the episode, and it was so disturbing. It was that episode does contain essay, some serious essay, so much so, child, I had to fast forward. Oh, sorry, this is on Netflix. I didn't do a good job introducing that. It's on Netflix, Simple Living. It was so intense. I skipped the rest of the episode, y'all. Like, I was like, this is too much. This is too much. I can't deal with this. And I kept like, cuz I could feel it coming, and I just fast forwarded it, and I was like, this is still going on. Hey Ben, thanks for being here. Shout out to Ben Stinker. And I was just like, I can't deal with this. And I was so triggered. And I fast forwarded. And then it was just kept going and going. And I think it happened until the end of the episode. And I said, what kind of, it was just too much. I don't know if anybody who saw this, like, and this is, I meant to do a review on this sooner, but I was just like, I need some distance from the story. The only reason why I finished it is I really like I said, I like closure. I like to finish things. And I needed to know what the hell happened to this crazy ass stalker lady, because they took a break from talking about her to discussing, these incidents. And it was just so, like I said, be careful if you haven't seen it. I listen to people's stories and trauma all the time. I don't know what it was, something extra about that. It felt very dark. I mean, this essay is always dark and evil and wicked. It was just too much, y'all. So I don't know if you've seen it and you want to drop down and say anything, let me know. If you haven't, and I'm not gonna get into like the details and stuff because that's just too much. And like I said, I fast forwarded that anyway. So yeah, it was too much. But then the rest of the story did wrap up, and I don't know if I want to say because I don't know where people are. I know for sure Simple Living hasn't seen it because she's asking about what platform it's on. So I won't say how it ended, but that's just how it wrapped up. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. They should have prepared people for this because this is too much. I felt the same way about what is it called? Snowfall? The one with Damson Idris, I think his name is. And who recommended that show? It was Dee Love. And I like Dee Love. She was like, "Oh, this show is so good." Oh, how Simple Living sis brother. Okay, well, you said it, so I'm gonna do it, sis. I'm definitely gonna do it. But Snowfall had a R scene, like just a few episodes in, and it was very brutal and violent, and I was just like, nah, this too much. But yeah, so what happened was that crazy ass lady, child, that lady continued her effery. She continued to stalk this man, and she had ended up recording stuff. She to the point where when he finally went to the police, it kind of backfired because she was showing that like, oh, he was going along with it, but he really wasn't. Not all of it. Some of it, like just to like pacify her. Child, this lady, because I kept wondering why is it called Baby Reindeer. This lady ended up getting charged, and I don't remember how much time she got, but she did go to jail. And then it was in the last message that we heard, she was crying on the recording, telling him, she was telling the story of how she ended up naming him Baby Reindeer, because that's the name she would call him, is Baby Reindeer. And this is where I really want to be mindful how I say this, because I don't want to come off as a jerk. But hopefully you guys have been around long enough to know that I'm a big advocate for survivors, for victims of abuse or SA. So keep that in mind. But this dude was listening to the recording, and he was bawling his eyes out as though he did something wrong. I'm like, this lady ruined your life. This lady did the absolute most. Again, if the tables were turned, and this was a man doing this to a woman, he would have went to jail. So it was crazy to me. There were times in the show that I felt, again, trying to find the right words because I don't want it to sound like victim blaming, but there were times that I felt like, given all the things that he's witnessed that this woman did, and things that had happened, I felt like there were times he put himself in weird situations. Like for example, the dude that essayed him, he went back to his apartment and it didn't explain why he went back to see him. Like he should have been terrified. That dude gave him drugs and did all kinds of horrible things to him. And so I just didn't understand going back to the scene of the crime. That doesn't make any sense to me. You weren't in a relationship. Like in the context of a domestically violent relationship, we know that people return. This guy wasn't in a relationship with that man. So why did he go back to his apartment after that horrific trauma? I don't know. So that's what makes it made me it reminded me of people in Hollywood. I do believe there are true victims in Hollywood, and I believe Hollywood is a horrible, wicked, dark place. But I also believe that there are people who sign up for the effery. They know I need to do this. I need to suck a little something. I need to do a little this, and I'm gonna get this. Okay, there are people like that, and I don't think like even though I think it's wrong, I think those people know what they're signing up for. Some of them, and then there's people that are met with other other situations. But this is what I felt like with this guy. I felt like you went to this man's apartment. You everything that happened, you shared it, and then you went back after you were doing well. After this woman was put in jail, it was weird. So I would love to hear people's thoughts on that. I really it wasn't congruent. There was an aspect of him that felt like he was attention seeking. Like I felt like there was a part of him that even though he was suffering from this woman ruining his life, there was a part of him that resonated with the attention. And I if I ever met him, I would want to ask him like what was it that resonated with you? Like it felt like there were times that you were holding on when you could have let go. You know what I'm saying? So it was weird. That was just how I felt about it. Very, very strange behavior. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So that's how I feel about baby reindeer. Ciao. Let me drink some of this green tea. So the next thing that I want to talk about is so there's been I don't remember when they started this investigation. The first time I came across this story, and I don't know why I read this ish at night, y'all. It was stupid for me to do that. I came across the story on LSA, and it was about the FBI investigating 500 aerialists that were all truckers. Okay. Now, according to the article, and I also had just read a different news article today to cross reference it, um, they said 850 women are being suspected to have been murdered by the 500 truckers that they're investigating. Now that's a lot. Now let's give you a little bit of backstory. So they apparently, I think there's only 25 people that are truckers or whatever that they suspected that have been arrested. But there's two stories that stand out. One of them, actually, they found that he had a torture chamber in the back of his truck, guys. This man had a fully equipped torture chamber. Like I was just like, what is this? Like, what am I reading? He had this shit built into the back of his truck so he can torture his victims. And yes, they were essayed, but these people, they died a slow, agonizing death. Like this is the kind of stuff that, ooh, child, I'm just trying to, I just get so mad. I get so angry because it's just like, yo, where do they find these fucking people? So yeah, this I want to say this was Mendenhall. This was one of that was one of the people, and then the other dude, I don't remember how many victims he had. So the body count isn't super high for each of them. Maybe 3 to 4 people, which is still serial killer status, but one of the guys, I think the one with the torture device in the back of his truck, they said that, I don't know how they proved this, but one of the way he killed another woman was just running her over on the road. Like he just straight up, she was a hitchhiker. I guess some of them confessed eventually. They got like caught for some other crime. So he just ran her over on the road. So there's different ways that they're killing these people. So these are people who have bloodlust, probably men who hate women. Okay, and it goes into not all of these women are sex workers. A lot of times that's why things fly under the radar, because even the police treat some of the sex workers as though they're less than human beings, and it's really sad. And so sometimes you would think that to some degree, um, depending on the situation, it might be safer because sometimes they have somebody protect them. But a lot of times, it just seems like people just get away with stuff. And I think they're snatching. Like when I was reading these articles, it wasn't just sex workers. Some of them they're snatching people up from um, rest stops, guys. And people were saying, I think it's known that rest stops are supposed to be safe, and it just really really scared me because I love rest stops, but during the day. During the day, I like them, not at night. And so, just imagine some of these people with big ass trucks chilling and ruining and murdering people, torturing people, essaying people, and they're getting away with it. And people in the comments on social media, some of the people who are truckers are saying they think it's higher than that. I absolutely believe it's higher than that. I forget how many truckers we have right now, um, between the U.S. and Canada, but yeah, they think over 1,000 victims, guys. Now I don't remember the time span that they're alleging that this happened. That is freaking scary. That is so scary to know that this is happening. And my question is, why aren't the trucks getting checked? Like the fact that this man had a device, either it was a I mean, because it said it was built into his truck. So how comes his truck is never getting checked? Like, what are the rules for truckers? It just seems like they just get away with a lot of stuff. And then it makes you put into question our consumerism habits. We just want our Amazon, and we just want this, and we needed it like yesterday. So how does that contribute to it, where the police aren't stopping these people because of the work that they're doing? Like, what is really going on? The other thing is the demographics, for truckers. They said it's 70% white and 12% black, and the biggest age group is between 45 to 54 years old. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, but when I read this story, it scared the hell out of me. I still don't understand, with the exception of people who, are on drugs or whatever, are just homeless. I don't understand why people hitchhike. Like, I've watched enough crazy shit to know that you don't hitchhike. It doesn't matter how safe somebody seems or how innocent. Because even sometimes, let's say it's a couple. Sometimes there's demonic ass couples out there that be working together. Okay, and then they have a woman along to make it seem like they're safe. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, they're tag teaming and doing all kinds of messed up stuff. So I just can't imagine, like, oh, that's scary. Like, why are people still out here hitchhiking? So, and one of the victims was so sad, guys. Trigger warning. She was a 14-year-old girl, and she was running away from a troubled home. I don't know what was happening at home, but I don't it listen, it couldn't be as bad as how her life ended. And she was, I'm guessing she must have hitchhiked with this guy, the Mendenhall guy that had the device in the back of his truck. And this isn't, that guy might have a specific device, but the other guy that got arrested, he had tools and all kinds of stuff, and they found DNA of like his victims. That's how he was charged. So he's not the only one that has like stuff set up to do these horrible, horrific things. So this young girl ran away from home, y'all, and somehow she ended up in this truck with this dude. And when I was reading the article at one point, it was saying that he was taunting the girl's dad. I don't know how he was able to do that. And the police, I have so many questions. Anyway, he was taunting the girl's dad, saying, "Yeah, she's with me, and I cut her hair," and just awful, awful. Like, obviously, cutting her hair is light work compared to what he did to her. And she eventually died. He eventually killed her. And it's just even just where they're putting hiding the bodies. The one guy they investigated, this was the black dude. I don't remember his name. Not Mendenhall. The black dude, yo. First of all, his picture was demonic, just like Mendenhall. And I was reading the article, and it was saying that he this is a true psychopath. This man said he sleep good at night. Like the way he talked about his crimes. First of all, he wouldn't reveal where he buried his victims, but the police were able to find three of them, but they think there's more. This man was just so, I don't even like, apathetic in his response. And he was just like, yeah, I sleep very good at night. Like it was so crazy to see that there's people this deranged that live among us. And we know, but just like it felt like straight out of a true crime show. When I was reading this article, that's how it felt. Like this feels, I mean, and those things are real too, but it just felt like, is this shit real? This is so crazy. And like I said, I'm already a very careful person, but just reading this was absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. And it makes you just wonder what is going on in the roads with these truck drivers. I don't know if any of y'all have truck drivers in your family. And sometimes there's female truck drivers. I just think about them like it must be such a toxic culture to be around because it's male dominated. Um, yeah. Anyway, y'all, that's that story. Very disturbing. Um, yeah, I don't know if anybody has any thoughts about it, but just be careful, y'all, when you go to these rest stops. Even though, like I said, there's a high number of people that are um, sex workers. There are some of the victims are also not sex workers. So, you know, it's a lot, and that's very sad. Uh, all the same, and I thought it was interesting that the victims were categorized as women, and I'm like, I just don't believe it's just women. I'm sure there's children, like because they said sometimes truckers, the bad ones, they have like trafficking rings. They have trafficking rings. So I don't believe for a second that it's just women. Simple Limit said, I'm back. I have to replay. So these crazy ass truckers are deleting people. Yes, for fun, Simple Living. Just for fun. Like, it's crazy. That was the sense I got from the article. Not that there's ever a reason to kill anybody, but they're not getting into arguments with people. They're planning this. This is like on purpose. I don't trust people that move around a lot from state to state. Same. You know, Simple Living, I'm with you, sis. Now, I might offend some people who watch this replay, but, and I'm not saying it's all people that's like that, but yeah, I wouldn't have a husband that's a trucker. That's for damn sure. I wouldn't want a partner who was a trucker. No, thank you. And this is before the story, not because I think they're, serial killers. It's just some, I don't know. Like Simple Living said, I don't trust people that be moving around like that. Nope. That has to mess with your sleeping, your social life, and I know they supposedly they get paid well. Some things just aren't worth it. That's just crazy. But anyway, y'all, be careful out there. Be careful. Sometimes y'all ever I don't know if you so I haven't seen one of these in a while, but sometimes they have psychic shows where they show psychics helping the police, like to locate people. They'll have a clairvoyant person on there. Hey, Brick House. No, Brick House chat girl. It was not a documentary, sis. This is a news article. They said that the FBI is investigating 500 truckers that are serial killers. And that there's at least 850 to 1,000 women that have been murdered already by these people. 5 fucking 100. Like that's crazy. And yeah, like I would encourage y'all to read the articles, but be mindful that it could be very triggering because these people don't have no remorse. Like these are some of the worst of the worst. Worst of the worst. Absolutely no remorse. They're plotting out their crimes. And I don't know, you just got here, but one of the dudes had a whole torture chamber in the back fitted for the back of his truck, sis. torture chamber. Like, so that's why I'm saying they need to get these psychics finding people, because there got to be some woman like right now, or other victims that's trapped and being tortured. It's crazy. Kidnapping is at an all-time high. I see men. Ooh, sorry, this went away. I see men pulling alongside women with their children and try to pry the kids. What? Let me tell you. First of all, I'm gonna stay prayed up, and I stay telling my ancestors and everybody keep us safe. But child, who I'm not gonna say it because YouTube they gonna shut my video down. The other day, somebody like since having my kiddo, this young woman popped up in our driveway. I saw her walk past our driveway, and then she, by the time I got out the car, she was like on my side. She was on the driver's side behind me. Someone said what she wants. And she was talking to, I thought she was talking on the phone. You know how people be having the earpieces and stuff? She was talking to herself. So then she said, "Can I use your phone?" So Kwame was still in his car seat. And I was like, thank God I wasn't trying to take him out yet. Cause I'm like, I don't know. This is weird. I don't want to be mean to her, but I also don't trust her. So I didn't even answer. I just like was looking for my phone while keeping an eye on Kwame. And his side was locked. This door was locked, right? And so I let her use the phone, and I'm like listening and like not staring at her. I stood on the outside of my car with the door open. And I know you're gonna be like, oh, she's a young woman, she's not gonna try it, but something about her was off. Because like I said, she must have seen me pulling up, because she passed my house and then was in the driveway waiting for me by the time I hopped out the car. And like I said, she was talking to herself. So then here was the next red flag. She's on the phone. The first person she called, she's dropping F bombs. And I could have sworn the name she said is the name that I heard later, but that's another story. So she's like, is so and so there? Da, 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 what the fuck? Da, da. And she's just so like, my son is in the car. Like, it was just crazy. She was just being real extra. So then she's on the phone, y'all. So Kwame starts crying. He's in the car, and I'm just talking to him like, oh, it's okay, Baba, because there's no way I'm taking him out the car until this woman leaves, right? So he's crying, and she's up on the phone like Sapphire phone. Like she didn't have no sense of urgency. Y'all know y'all come across people that just don't have no sense of the world around them. They just do what they want to do. So I said, okay, I'm gonna have to like get this phone from her. So Kwame starts crying because he's tired of sitting in the car. And it's probably only been 3 minutes, but that's an eternity for a 2-year-old. So I said to her, I'm gonna need my phone back. Because my son is not having, like, he's not doing well right now. And then she's like, oh, okay, because I wanted to listen if she was actually talking or she was faking it. And then she hands me back the phone immediately, which was weird because I'm like, well, and I did check the phone later. She did actually dial a number, because I'm like, were you even talking to somebody? Then she starts saying, baby, listen. Sorry, this is like a huge segue because it made me think of it because of what Simple Living said. Then she was like, after I asked her for the phone back and I'm about to go inside with my son, I still had the car running. He's still in the car seat because, like I said, I'm going to run her ass over before you do anything to me and my child, or you're going to get whop, 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 whop in your head. I was already sizing her up. Yep, I could take her. She's a little taller than me, but I'm bigger than her. I'm going to bust your ass if I need to, bitch. Don't try nothing. So she was talking about oh, yeah, I know you must be busy, but can you take me to Portage? Now, I'm going to give y'all an example of where Portage is from where I live. There's a town near me that's only like 10, 15 minutes away. If she had asked me to take her there, I still wouldn't take her because I have a child and I don't give random, like, if she's a young woman, if she was a kid, then I would do it. But I don't give adults unless I know you're not getting in my car. You're not getting in my car. So I would have said no and I would have made it up anyway. This woman asked me to take her. Portage is about an hour, possibly an hour and 20 minutes away from where I live. This is how you know she's not wrapped too tightly. She saw me with my young child. She accosted me. I barely got out the car and I was accosted for my phone. And then she's asking me for a ride that's an hour and 20 minutes away. Yeah. Does that make any sense to y'all? So I said, oh, you're not from around here? She said, and then she starts stumbling over her words. She's like, well, no, because I've never seen her before. And initially I thought she was, we live right across from a high school. So I thought she was just a high schooler. But the more I looked at her, I can tell she's probably just a young adult. So she, like, who knows, right? She could be like mid, like early 20s or something. Child. Then she said, no, I'm not from here. And she said, son, the police looking for me or something. Why, when she said the police looking for her, the police pulled up and parked right around the corner of our fence. Child. Now, listen, what y'all don't know is there's a courthouse, and I keep forgetting this because it looks like a very innocent building. It's not like it doesn't give courthouse, and we live in a small town. Leonard, listen, my spider sense was tingling. I told you I was ready. I didn't have no cutlass or no hammer or nothing, but I was like, I'm gonna beat this bitch ass if she try anything with me and my son. Like, on God, you're going, like, bitch, you're finna die. Like, I just kept thinking about my son. You're going to die if you try some shit. So I just keep like watching her, and y'all know I'm a very cheerful person. She doesn't know me, so I'm just very like short with her. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't give you a ride. I got to take care of my son. Um, and because my husband's at work, right? So I was like, I can't give you a ride. I'm so sorry. And then right when she said the police thing, the police pulled up, baby. They was in the big van, pulled up around the corner, parked around the corner of my fence. Two of them hopped out. I said, thank you, Jesus. They hopped out. And because I said, they looking for you. I literally repeated what she said. I said, they looking for you. And then she tried to switch up our word. She was like, oh, no, well, no, they not looking for me. Child, they ran up on the lawn and they was like, I think they said her name was Sharice or something, which I swore she called and asked for Sharice, y'all, on the phone. Isn't that suspect? So you call and talk to yourself? So the police was like, we got a call from the school. Remember, I told you we live across from a school. We got a call from the school. Oh yeah, because she said she had went to the school to use the phone. She told me that. She said she tried to use the phone in the school, and they must have run her. They must tell her, said she needs to leave, and then they must have called the police. Then that's why the police came. I'm telling you, these police came from the courthouse. They had to be, and so because they must know who she. Yes, very weird, Leonard. Very, very weird. So then, as soon as they were talking to her, I just gave the police a thumbs up because now her back is facing me. And I just quietly took Kwame out of his car seat, went on my deck, opened the door, and double bolted my shit, closed the blinds because I don't know if they're carting her off. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, now she knows where I live. She sees I'm with my child. And child, and then I told my husband. Because he's very, my husband is like real laid back, and he's like usually thinks I'd be worried about stuff that I don't need to. He was like, yeah, keep them doors closed. he said keep them doors closed. Baby, my joint was double bolted because I don't know what Sharice was trying. She was either, I don't know what was going on. Listen, I gave this. I listen. I did feel a little tap dancing in that moment because I gave him a thumbs up because I didn't even have to say bye to her. I was like, yo, I don't even want to know because it was too many red flags. It was too many red flags. Usually, I'm a helpful person, and like I said, I think it's because I had my son. My radar was very different in that moment. I was like, no, my son is here. I'm not even taking him out the car because like I told you I was sizing her up. I was getting ready if I had to duke it out. I just hurried up and got Kwame inside and shut the shit down. And I was peeking out my window. Eventually she left, but I don't know. I couldn't tell if she left with them or not. And I haven't seen her since then. Like I don't think she lives around there. I don't think she lives around there. But isn't that weird, y'all? I know that was a long story, but it scared me. I was very scared. I was like, how am I going to get away from this girl? She's asking me for a ride. You know, I let her use my phone. Now she asked me to take her an hour and 20 minutes away. Girl, you're crazy. She said, I'm pregnant. She's not pregnant. She said, I'm pregnant. And I shouldn't say that because I don't know. She didn't look pregnant to me. It just sounded like a sob story. But long story short, listen, I'm not playing with people. I'm not playing with these man, woman. Like my radar just be up. What you want? Why are you in my traffic? driveway. And she had to be, there has to be something if the police came to check on her. If she was just like, if there wasn't anything going on, because I'm thinking, looking back, I'm like, she either had some mental health issues or she was on, like, slightly under the influence of something. She wasn't acting super like erratic, but like I said, her social cues were weird. Like, she was cursing on the phone within seconds of calling the person. She never said thank you. She never said, "Oh, I just need to call one more person." She just kept talking and talking and talking, and she didn't even look at me. She didn't even say like, "Oh yeah, like sorry, I really need to get this person so I can get a ride." Like, she just wasn't, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, the social cues were weird. And so that was enough for me to be like, no, Kwame is staying in the car seat. Kwame is staying in the car seat because I'm just gonna hit my key fob and close the door if I have to rumble with this bitch. Anyway, so I don't know what happened to her, y'all. Yes, that's what it was. Very weird, Leonard. It was very weird. Very, very weird. I was like, and then my stupid ass was thinking, how can I get rid of her? Like, I'm not taking her to Portage. Should I give her, I like, sometimes you give people money just to get away from you. I was like, okay, this is what I have in my wallet. I might give her a little bit so she can, maybe like, that cab's not going to take her very far. $15, that's what I had in cash. That's not going to take her very far. But I was, this is before the police pulled up. I was thinking this, like, how am I going to get this woman out of my driveway? Because I'm not taking my son out the car. um, no, I'm not. I used to be more like that, but it's just, the more you learn, people, there's some crazy, wicked ass people out here. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. I would have told her to go find not the pink phone. Yes, because I said the school called the police on her. I was thinking she was an addict, simple living. I agree with you, because it felt like, I said, I don't know, so I could totally be wrong, but it felt like her lies. She was prolific in coming up with stuff. Oh, I'm pregnant. Can you take me to Portage? Oh, the police looking for me. No, they're not looking for me. Well, girl, which is it? And why would I let a stranger in my car to drive them for an hour and 20 minutes? Like, that's weird. I wouldn't listen. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm just glad I saw her ass before I went to Kwame's side. Yeah. Very, very crazy. So yeah, I think she was an addict, and I think that's why the police came to she wasn't arrested or anything. Like, the way they were talking to her, it seems like they were trying to, like, get her away from the property. But the school don't play, honey. They called the police on her quick. They said, "No, ma'am." Okay, so yeah, watch out for them crazy ass truckers, these demonic ass entities. The next thing I want to talk about is one of my gear grinders. So I was watching this video. You know how it almost appears as a sting of some kind. It was very weird, and this is why I think it's very important for us to cultivate and listen to our intuition, because I didn't know what was going on, but something said, like, and usually if people ask me for my phone, um it, depending on the situation, but it was the way she approached me. I didn't like that I saw her walk by my house, and then by the time I was pulled into my driveway, she was in the driveway waiting for me. It was I thought that was very strange. Like, it was very weird. I just didn't like it. And that's what made me think. I told you, I was telling my husband, I was like, because my husband was at work, so he wouldn't have been home for hours. But there's a school across the street, but still, you just never know. Because crackheads be desperate. They be trying all kinds of stuff, y'all. Oh my gosh, my chair is squeaky. I need to check the nuts and bolts. But I was watching, YouTube recommended a video of this channel, and I watched one video. I don't remember, it was about something about Vietnam and and creatures or something. Y'all know I'd be liking paranormal stuff. Exactly. And so then I said, let me see what else they got on this channel. And they had a Nat Turner video. Now, it was interesting. It was uploaded on Juneteenth. So I know I live for the comments, right? So I went straight to the comments to see what is the energy of this comment section, because I don't trust, listen, I'm gonna keep it real because I'm not a racist person. I don't trust white people to cover certain topics, like certain sensitive topics. I don't want to hear it from you, period. And so when I saw Nat Turner, which is a sensitive topic, I was not very happy that this man was covering it, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna approach this, cautiously. I didn't have high expectations. Cautiously, I'm gonna approach this. So I'm listening to the video, and it wasn't a horrible video, but it was very whitewashed. Um, in a sense of like, this is what really made me mad. I hate. Thank you, Leonard. You feel me? I cannot stand when people cover topics of people doing quote unquote bad things, but they don't get into what triggered the person. How are you going to do a video on Nat Turner and talking about something he was killing innocent white people? Innocent. Innocent, y'all. He was killing innocent white people. And that he probably had mental health issues because he said he was hearing voices from the Lord. Oh, but what about the Spanish conquistadors? Did they have mental health issues? Did Nero have mental health issues? Did Christopher Columbus have mental health issues? Let me fall back. Anyway, so he's saying all this stuff, and I'm gonna get mad already, right? Because I'm like, yo, this the shit I was mad already. And like I said, if you watch the video, it wasn't any blatant crazy stuff. You just gotta listen to the subtleties. Because it drives me crazy. I can't stand this shit. So then he's like, yeah, he was killing this person and that person. And, because the title of the video was heroic, or I forget, it was two H's. Two H's, like, let's say Hellion. It wasn't Hellion. Heroic or Hellion. I'm going to make it up. But heroic was one of the words. And what was it that he said? There was something in the video that really, really upset me. Oh, he didn't even talk about the horrors of slavery. He just made it seem like this man had mental health issues, woke up one day, heard the voice of God or whoever, and decided that he was going to start clubbing white folks over their heads and taking white folks out just for fun. That this man was a manic serial killer. He didn't even talk about slavery. So irresponsible. Okay, he mentioned that there were slavers, but it was very whitewashed. And so I listened to this nonsense. And so I'm like, what? So then he gets to the end and he's like, well, there was one positive out of the Nat rebellion. And, I don't even remember what he said, but the fact that he said there was one, it was just so out of touch. And then my favorite part was of course, he included all the horrific details that happened to Nat Turner. Like, if y'all don't know, they made his skin into a purse, all kinds of stuff. Y'all watched Birth of a Nation? That was crazy. Like, I never knew about Nat Turner until I watched that movie. Like, it was wild. And I know a lot about the history of slavery, but I was not familiar with that story. They don't teach us that in school. Shamelessly wicked. That's right, Leonard. Shamelessly wicked. I was big mad, and I said, okay, I'm finna tear his ass up and the racist ass people in the comment section. Because every once in a while I get a little troll in me, that troll spirit come out. But I'm a good troll. I'm a good troll, and I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. So I don't just be making shit up. So I hopped in the comment section, and I was going off, y'all. I didn't curse or anything. So I knew that he was deleting my comments because I didn't curse in my comments. And I said, the first comment I said, those demons deserved exactly what they got. That's what I wrote. Those demons deserve. Now, am I saying that I advocate for murder and stuff? No, but you know what? Because I said, not everybody's going to put up with BS. Ooh, that comment was gone. That comment was gone. Then there was some other people in the comments. Some of them I didn't even respond to because I want my blood pressure to stay normal. So I say, I'm not even going to respond to you because, like, I'm going to want to put hands on you in real life. One of them said, just imagine America without them. And I just was going off in my head. I said, this bitch ass, y'all the motherfuckers that took us to all the parts of the world. America, the Caribbeans. Like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean imagine America without, you would have no America. The African Americans literally built your country, you buffoon. Like it was so crazy. I was just like, yo, this shit is wild. Like and y'all know I'm not, y'all know. Y'all, like if you know me, you know I don't have to explain. Okay. If you're one of the white people that's an ally and you not racist out here, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the racist motherfuckers. Okay. I'm talking to you out of touch. Oh my gosh, I'm so fragile. I don't want to connect with the things that my ancestors did. I'm talking about y'all. Okay. Like it was so crazy reading these comments. None of those, most, I would say 90% of the people in the comments were so out of touch with the fact that this man and the other people who killed those people were enslaved. They were enslaved and they were fighting back. Like, not only did this fake ass historian not do the video justice by actually talking about what happened in the context in which these things happened, but the people in the comments were willfully ignorant, pretending as though this wasn't about slavery. Okay. And that these people just got up and wanted to kill people because that's what they want to make it seem like with us. We just get up and we just want to do shit. It's very, I was so infuriated, and he was deleting my comments. I almost pulled a petty and posted him to my community wall and cussed him off because I knew he would read it, and I knew that there was no way he can delete that. But then I said, nah, because you're gonna get free promotion. So I did it. But I almost did. I almost did a rant on his ass. Because I was just like, you need to sit this one out. Stay away from Black business because you're not doing a good job covering it. And people in the comments talking about, thank you, I learned some things. You learned that Nat Turner's body was turned into, his skin was turned into a purse. Is that what you're talking about? What the fuck did you learn? What did you learn, sir? Ma'am? So annoying. So that's one of my yes, you got to tear them up sometimes. They need to learn. America KKK would destroy itself within a week. Thank you, Leonard. Without us, they have nothing. They're only united in hate for us. Bingo, preach, 100%. And that's the irony. Is I'm reading this and I'm like, these people are so out of touch because they're watching a video and they're just hate mongering in the comment section, even though y'all the ones who enslaved the Black people, and y'all the ones who did all. Do you know what kind of wicked shit them do? And you have the nerve to criticize Nat Turner. Y'all lucky Nat Turner take out more of y'all motherfuckers. And the thing is that the Maroons in Jamaica, they didn't play either. They was riding there knocking heads off, okay, doing all kinds of cray shit to the slave owners. They were so scared, baby. Listen, this is why I think they outlawed obeah. They were scared. We had them shook it. The Maroons, they did not play. They were like, we're not fitting to lie down and die for none of y'all. Okay? We're gonna die in battle. We're gonna tear your shit up. And of course they enacted harsher punishments and things like that. I remember reading something they were talking about. Same thing with the Haiti Revolution. Okay, they say talking about Haiti or Haiti poor and this, that's, and the third. But them to tell you, said, hey, Haiti freed themselves. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how France sent them a bill after enslaving their asses. These people are fucking wicked. Sorry, now I'm getting mad and I'm at work. let me calm down. Simple Living said they still be in caves and dirty, nasty arse. Thank you. Thank you. Stop playing. Y'all play too much. There's your Christ work. You're welcome. Ooh! And that's what, listen, oh my gosh, Leonard is on it. Oh man, it makes me so mad. Cause I'm like, I remember when I was a kid and I first learned about the KKK. And I don't remember what it was, but I realized a lot of these people like are involved in church and stuff too. And I just didn't, because I grew up in church, I just couldn't reconcile. Like the math wasn't mathing to me then as a child. Mommy, all these people said them love God. Like, how do they reconcile killing and beating Black folks? But they should, like, it didn't make any sense. And that was before I learned that they used the Bible, to subjugate Black people, in slavery. And they had the slavery Bible, and there's verses they ignored, and there's verses that they promote. It's just, oh my God, like that made me so mad. I was so mad when I watched that video, and I watched it to the very end. And like I said, if you listen to the video, it's very subtle. It's not like they're not coming out just saying like crazy lies and stuff. It's just super whitewash, which I think is like often more offensive when you're covering sensitive topics. You should have sat this one out, homie. Stick to covering the rock creatures that were in the Vietnam War. Stick to that. Because you don't know what the F you talking about. Talking about some Nat Turner of mental health issues. That is crazy to me. That's absolutely nuts. Look how many of these white men talk about some they heard from God for do this and for do that. Did they have mental health issues? Because I bet they did. Because they out here committing genocide. That's not from God. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Anyway, my rant is over. If I could cuss that man out to his face, I would. That's how mad I was. I was mad at the comments, but I knew his ass would see. I knew it because now that I think about it, his comment section was heavily curated. And now that I'm thinking back, it wasn't just that those were the people who were ass kissy. It's that he curated his comment section to only have people with a certain tone in his comment section. And even the racist people, he wouldn't say to them like, this is not appropriate. He didn't delete the racist comments. He gonna put thank you for watching. This was his comment for everybody. Thank you for watching. How comes I didn't get a thank you for watching when I said the demons deserved what they got? Where was my thank you for watching, sir? Stick to finding your Uncle Bigfoot. Leonard. Yo, Leonard is hilarious. Leonard ain't shit. Listen, I'm with it. You're absolutely right. Stick to that. Stop covering our stuff. You're not doing it right. That joint drives me crazy. Oh my God. Anyway, y'all, this is one of the gear grinds I want to talk about. The other stuff that showed up. Do y'all hear about the monoliths? This is not the first time I've heard of it. There's some shiny prisms showing up. This latest one was in Las Vegas and the police removed it. They don't know how it got there. But it's also it seems to be a remote area. So really anybody could be driving or flying to these locations and dropping these things. But I don't know if you guys have heard of it, put a 1 in the chat. This is not the first time I've heard of it. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? Their obsession with us drives me absolutely crazy, sis. I cannot. I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree. Because it's like, leave us the fuck alone. Leave us alone. Like like when I was looking at the list of the videos, it wasn't even congruent to what he was talking about. Like it just felt, you can tell he wanted to fuck with us because there were Black people, and I think they were Black. There were Black people in the chat saying, what does this have to do with Juneteenth? And he did respond to one of them. What did he say? I don't remember what he said because I refused to give his video another click. People were asking in the comments. There were a couple people like, what does this have to do with Juneteenth? And I think it's the way he covered it. It was the way he covered it. But it was just like, yo, we can't have nothing. We can't have nothing. Y'all just stay worrying about what we're doing and what we're up to. And, the crazy part is, I guarantee you that if enough Black people up and left America at one time, they would find a way to keep your asses there. I'm telling you, a lot of people would get out. They would have gotten shooketh. Because what are the white supremacists without somebody to put they step on somebody's neck? What are they? Absolutely nothing. They need somebody to subjugate. And so even though some of these racist ass people say stuff like that, oh, we want America. We want America without. You don't want America without us. No, you want us to be enslaved. That's the realty. You say you don't want to be around us, but I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. I don't. I think you need somebody to look down on. I think you're looking for the past, the slavery times. But what you don't know is your ass is going to get chopped up into itty bitty pieces before that happen again. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. Leave us the fuck alone. Cover your own shit. Go talk about some potatoes and mayonnaise. Okay. You do that. Stay away from Nat Turner. Okay. Because if you're really worried about it, I hope his spirit come haunt your ass for being disrespectful on Juneteenth of all days. I hope he come haunt your ass. See, I was listening to these stories the other day, and whatever. I think they're TikTok stories that they recycled to YouTube. And I listened to particularly two of them, and it was a woman who worked in a nursing home, and she shared about these two racist ass people, okay, who uh they were haunted at the end of their life because they had unalived brutally a black man and his child. And it was crazy, the story that the woman, because I do believe in ghosts and spirits. Okay, some people don't, that's fine, but I'm gonna tell you that I believe that shit. And this, they were terrorizing the fuck out of this man in his last moments at the nursing home. And so some people, they think they get away with stuff for years and years, but karma always come back to get that ass. So leave Nat Turner alone. That is not a spirit that I would want. And I'm wondering, I'm sure there's some racist ass family that owns some of that shit right now. I'm sure that stuff wasn't destroyed. They tried to save it and have it passed down. Okay, because I was watching something else a few years ago about this one skull that was passed down in a family, and then this is how it led police to investigate. It ended up in some thrift shop or something, and people, they were trying to sell it as a fake, but it was crazy. It wasn't fake. It was clear that it wasn't fake. So it's the stuff that people do. They have no reverence at all, for the living and for the dead. It's crazy. Pink people hate each other. Trust me, I grew up with the ones where in the world now. Listen, I don't believe that about all of them. You already know my situation and my story. I'm talking specifically to the white supremacists, the racists, okay, the clueless white fragile people who need somebody to hold their hand and tell them it's okay, honey. Slavery wasn't your fault. Oh, you had slave ancestors who were slavers. Oh, that's okay. It's wild to me when people want to have to be patted on the back and to be rubbed on the shoulder for the fuck shit that they did. Why do the survivors need to comfort you? Like that absolutely drives me insane. Absolutely drives me insane. Mind you, these satanic weirdos are leadership academy graduates. Yes, I know. It's so sick. It's so you really can't trust, because it could be all statuses in life. They could be the bum on the street, or they could be up there being a whole dean or CEO. Very scary. Very, very scary. Simple Lim said, "We know that you're only talking to the salties." Yes, exactly. Not the ones with good sense. I cannot stand the saltines. Like that shit is so. And you know what? I really believe. I'm not saying there hasn't been stuff happening already. I really believe. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I believe strongly that some of these people who are heavily racist and they've been doing super extra wicked shit. Not just the people that are clueless, but the people who are willfully racist and doing stuff. It's going to be a big thing happening with some of them soon. It's going to be some stuff going down with some of them soon, and it's not going to be pretty. So that listen, y'all need to get it together, and the ancestors going to be involved too. Like I think sometimes I'd be thinking, not only is the earth pissed that we out here killing each other, okay, um, and doing all kinds of stuff, I really think that there's times and periods where just like whether it's the spirit or the voices of the dead that's been wronged heavily in a certain group, they're gonna get that ass. They're going to get that ass. I don't know why, but I feel that very strongly. So y'all better leave us alone. Leave us alone. And I also believe, maybe it's not gonna be in my lifetime. I believe that spiritually they're gonna have to pay reparations to black people. They're going to have to, because I think it's going to be that or something else. I definitely believe the more I like think about spiritual laws, again, I might not live to see that. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. They're gonna have to do it. Because I think you are like you only get away with so much stuff before you have to pay the price. And so they sending all them coins to Ukraine. I think that's money they should be giving to the Black Americans. That, listen, not that I don't think that people shouldn't be protected from war and stuff, but you already know. I already told y'all how I felt about Ukraine. Okay, I told y'all they were celebrating and they was kicking us out and they were preventing us from getting away. And meanwhile we were over here crying and praying for them and hoping good situations. They had time to be racist. So I completely detached myself from the Ukraine situation. Yes, I did. Not one prayer, not one thought. Since those stories came out, I don't do it. I wish you well, but I won't be thinking about you. Because if you got time to be racist when you are about to lose your life, when your country is being blown to smithereens, you know what I'm saying? When they bombing hospitals and the maternity units, you are a depraved human being, and perhaps you don't need to be here. So I'm not going to put in any extra breath or time. I'm not going. I'm gonna put those prayers to work for other people, not for your ass. And that might sound cold and wicked, but I'm just telling y'all this God honest truth. It tickles my sister's side, isn't it? It's crazy. Since I'm gonna point out something that I know y'all totally overlook, all this madness was planned for proof. Explain why the we got stronger as they went full Nazi Trumper weirdo. Listen, I'm all for the legalization and decriminalization, but it's true. You gotta be when the government got their hand in it. You gotta be careful. Okay, people should probably grow their own stuff because listen, it's wild though, because I don't understand why America is so uptight about it. I know there are states that it's legal, because in Canada, since I moved here, it's been legal. The year that I moved here, I think it became legal, and I don't even hear stories like they try to tell in the U.S. of people mowing people down on the streets. I don't hear nothing like that. So I don't understand. This is how I know that America be fear mongering. I'm not saying that issues don't happen with substances, but I think alcohol is even more dangerous personally to your health, and it don't got no benefits. It don't got no benefits at all. So I think America just uses that to control people and also to put more people in jail because it's not that deep. But I also do wonder about some people are skeptical about government grown sanctioned weed because it's not the same, and I think that it is a lot stronger too. It's wild. Ukrainians are neo Nazis. Yep, they get zero love from me. And Leonard, I'm so glad you're saying this because I really, even though I'm saying this on a public platform, it was a very hard decision for me to make because it's counter to who I am. But I felt like I have to protect my peace, and I believe I'm learning about protecting your energy. Some people don't deserve our energy, and I think as Black people, I think they siphon energy off of us all the time, whether it's with race baiting or look at how mad the JEWs got because we don't want to support their genocide of the Palestinians. Okay, now I support. I'm all against the Holocaust and all that's like that was evil and wicked, and I'm glad they got that situation ended and they were rescued from that. Just because I feel that way doesn't mean you always get a pass. When you become the oppressor, I'm not going to be tag teaming with you. And it's so crazy because there's people are always looking for Black support. This is why I know we're powerful. It has to be. Why is it so important that you have Black support? There's way more white people than us, allegedly. There's way more of y'all than us. Why do you need us to be vocal and supportive? Why do you need our energy backing you? How are you going to get mad because we don't want to support your genocide? That's crazy. People losing jobs because they speaking out against what you're doing, killing kids, bombing up people. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy. And it's the same thing with the Ukrainians. That was the first time in my life that I was like, okay, I'm signing off. I'm signing off. I'm not going to post no articles. I'm not talking about this. And I have friends, listen, I have a friend, I have a good friend here who she's a very kind person, and she actually hosted, her and her husband hosted Ukrainian refugee. And she was young. She's a young woman, probably like 19 and stuff. And I met her and everything. And she was cool. She seemed nice. I ain't getting no vibes from her, but you never know. But and I support my friend's decision to do that. But I'm not going to be expending any energy um, after I saw and heard what was happening. That is absolutely crazy. Like I just can't wrap my mind around um, like my life being in danger and I got time to be racist. Like that's crazy. Like it does not compute, non sequitur. Like it doesn't make any sense to me at all. And that's how I know I don't even know what to call that. Like is it a disease? Is it like what is wrong with you that you got energy for that? You should be sparing all your energy to escape, sis, sir. Where do you have energy for this hate? You know, it's wild. You're on point. My clique calls it fair point. Yes, it's. I'm telling you, since I moved to Canada, I swear to God, I wish I was making this up. I have not read one article, local or national, where they said it's becoming a problem on the streets, and and they have laws because I think they have laws. You can still get a DWI with if there's an accident and there's stuff. I've never seen any major headlines about mad accidents happening with weed and stuff like I do with alcohol. And so America is a fearmonger, and they need people to fill their prisons, and so they're going to keep something like weed, which I think weed is medicine. Now I'm not a smoker because I got asthma. I'm just not into smoking. Okay, when I did use weed before I had my son, I used to take edibles and stuff like occasionally, and it was a magical experience. And it's nice to not have to worry about the legalities. But I'm wrapping up breastfeeding. Child, my son is a trip, and so I obviously wouldn't be using anything like that. Hey, mixology, but once he's done, hello edibles. No, so but I really think that it can be very healing. Now I have had some anxiety taking one before, so it's not always that for people, but I believe there's way more health benefits. There's pain management. I know people who take it for pain management, for sleep, anxiety. It could help with depression as long as you don't become psychologically dependent on it. There's a host of things that it could be benefit. What is alcohol good for? A good time? Okay, what is it? You might get some resveratrol or whatever that stuff is called in wine. But for the most part, it's fucking up your liver. Let's keep it a buck. Okay? I don't hear those reports about weed. There's a lot of fearmongering. I used to teach a drug course, DUI course. I hated that job. It wasn't only my job. I was doing drug and alcohol work, and that's not the population for me. Um, I'll get into that another time. But anyway, part of my job was to teach um, people who had DUIs, like, this is how you end up in a situation. Actually, you said you had one drink, but really it was four because you had a Long Island iced tea and it has four shots in it. Stuff like that. I had to teach people. And I realized that, like, most of the people that came into that course weren't addicts. They were, which is why they weren't in therapy. It was just a course. They weren't addicts. They just like made stupid decisions. You can tell the people who are like the alcoholics. Did I have some come through there? Absolutely. But most of the people in that course weren't necessarily alcoholics or chronic drug users. So it's just anyway. I'm getting off topic. Long story short, yes. Yeah, like this one woman, she was a thin white woman, and she was like, I had one drink. And people always say that and then tell lie. Sometimes they're not telling the truth. But she said, I had one drink. And I'm like, one drink at the bar isn't always one drink. One drink, okay? If you're drinking hard liquor, it's an ounce. Beer is 12 ounces. Wine is 5 ounces. And if you go get a Long Island iced tea, it's not one shot unless you ask them to make it that way. So you're having four drinks, ma'am. On your frame, yeah, you're gonna get a DUI, sweetie. Like it's crazy. Or same thing, them big ass glasses they be having at the restaurants. That's not a serving of wine. You're drinking two servings of wine at least. So for me, it was great to teach the course because I learned too. Because I said, let me tell y'all, when I took that course, it blew my mind because I said, damn, anybody can get caught up. You don't have to be an alcoholic. You could just not be informed. You could think that, because I think in Pennsylvania, it was two drinks. I think it's two drinks that would mess up your BAC level. And so I knew that. But some people could be impaired. You can still be impaired with just two drinks. Not everybody could get away with that. If there's not enough time in between, depending on your weight, depending on how your body processes alcohol, people just don't want to be honest with themselves, and then they get popped, and it's like it's not worth it, y'all, because these people, DUIs, not only is it dangerous but it's expensive. People be paying, I think it costs like 10 grand, like if you get, even if you get off, or what, I forget, there's a program that you could do, you're still paying thousands of dollars to wipe your record and to go through this program. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Anyway, I got off topic, but the point I was making is America's a fearmonger. I don't think it's that deep with weed, because, like I said, I've been living in Canada for a few years, and I don't hear about people. I don't hear about major crashes happening because weed is legal. It's a bunch of fear mongering. They don't talk about the medicinal benefits of it. Anyway, I digress. Hey, Boo. Thanks for being here. Shout out to Mixology. She's a member. Leonard Deida. Jim Crow Joe can't give reparations, but can paper up Ukrainians and illegal migrants. Yo, this is so true. While there are roaming bands of homeless citizens across the country and spreading daily, it's crazy. I'm going to just leave this up here. I'm going to start because that is absolutely, absolutely the God honest truth. Okay. Now, listen, y'all know, when it comes to talking about immigrants and stuff, and like the xenophobic people, I don't fuck with them. But I have been paying attention from Canada about this migrant situation and the Ukrainian situation, and I said, something ain't clean in the buttermilk. You mean for tell me, say you have billions of dollars, not millions, billions? It's probably in the trillions now to give to Ukraine. This is not even your own people. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, people can't pay their rent. It's inflation like a motherfucker. There's homeless people, like Leonard is saying, homeless people, mad scores of homeless people. And that don't make no sense to me at all. That you're giving away millions and billions of dollars and you don't even take care of your own people, and people are making fun of people on government assistance and stuff. That's wrong. Something is not right. That makes no sense. See, because that's one thing I'm gonna give Canada. Canada take care of their people. You're gonna get taxed up the wazoo, but you're going to see your tax dollars at work. I don't mind getting taxed that heavily because I see where it benefits me. I see, oh gee, I can actually take a maternity leave and be home with my child instead of rushing back to work after 2 weeks or 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's benefits to it. But America, let me tell you something. Something revealed to me. I'm gonna tell y'all before I read the rest of these comments. One day, I was already feeling this before I left, and it's not just. I'm not saying this doesn't happen here too. I'm talking about my own personal story. I got rescued from the hamster wheel. I think about how there's so much, alleged wealth and stuff in America and whatever these Western countries, and it took me leaving, I guess it's a version of corporate America, whatever, for counselors, but it took me leaving that and starting my own business to realize, and I did see some of the issues before. Um, I work way less now. My mental health is way better. I will eventually work more, as my son gets older, but I would never be able to work these hours in the States and survive. It's really crazy how they have us on the hamster wheel. Like, I was on the hamster wheel in America and I was making good money, but I just felt like I was never enjoying it. I didn't have time to enjoy it. And it just felt like the same day every day. And you're doing all this stuff and you still can't get ahead. You still can't get basic stuff. It's crazy how they have us trapped. And again, not saying that that doesn't exist to some degree in Canada, but it's very different from my perspective. It is maybe because I live in a small town, but I did not realize what a fucking hamster wheel I was on until I stopped it, until I got off. And I started asking myself, oh, okay, I can make this amount of money. And like, it's crazy. And I'm choosing my time over money. Yes, money is important and I'm still making money and I'm still comfortable, but you don't have the option in certain jobs to choose time in America. Sometimes you're boxed into, this is your situation. Okay, you're going to have this benefits, you're going to have all this PTO, but we're going to reprimand you when you try to take it. We're going to make you feel like shit when you try to take time off. Like, this is how I felt like it was in America. Like, I would be working like a dog, and it was time for, I'll never forget, it was time, it was our anniversary, and I've been asking my boss for weeks for this time off, and she was always blowing smoke up my ass, talking about, oh, Tamar, you're our top biller, you're this, you're our bottom bitch. She didn't say it like that, but that's how I felt. I did a video about this a long time ago. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't you approve my PTO? Like, it was so crazy that they say all this stuff to you and it's still never enough. And I ended up, we couldn't even go away for the anniversary because she took so long to approve my PTO. We had to stay local. We didn't have time to book something away. I was so mad. I still remember, it was years ago, but I still, and I said, I will never work that hard for a company again. I'm going to work hard for myself. But I ain't never gonna do that again. Cause you do all that stuff and you listen, they making mad money off of you. Even when you making good money, they still making good money off of you. So I'm gonna work hard for myself. Okay. Cause this is just crazy. But anyway, hey Deidre, let me stop and read these comments. But I just wanted to say that that joint came to me when I like got off the hamster wheel. Like, yo, ask yourself what's more important. Create a balance. Yes, you need money, yet like it depends on how much you want to stack your paper, what your goals are, but consider your time as well. Consider your time, consider your free time. Do you have time to do the things that you want to do that you're working for? Or are you just working to pay bills? That shit is trash. Anyway, mixology said exactly 100%. A Long Island is for a drinker. Yep, exactly. Nah, she didn't have no business. This woman was probably like 120 pounds of that, probably like 5'2" girl bar. Simple Living said, I had a Long Island iced tea once and my shoes started swaying. I think I've had it once too, and I was like, nope, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. As a bartender, you learn the laws. See, yep, the bartenders do know the laws. Mixology is right. And technically, here you're supposed to know limits so you don't allow patrons to get too lit. Exactly, because then eventually they can try to come for you to be like, oh, you kept serving this person drinks and you saw that they were, physically impaired. That's crazy. It's wild. I feel bad for y'all. On the liquor, come to find out, our liquor is piss water compared to all the other continents like Japan. Yeah, they be drinking real crazy. Korea too. They say Korea's drinking culture is crazy. Like Japan and Australia, it's insane. Leonard said, and what they're putting in the liquor because all of a sudden liquor stays in your system longer. Child, I don't trust. Listen, I don't trust nothing that these people over here in the Western world be cooking up and making because they just be messing with our food. That's why I think it's good to grow your own food as much as possible, and cook your own food. Because child, even that, who know all these GMOs and all the stuff that they be putting in the food and stuff, they want you to be sick. They profit off of being sick. It's very crazy. It's wild. But anyway, Deidre said hi there. Then they want reparations. We need our reparations. I'm waiting for mine from the British Crown. Black Americans, y'all need to get yours from America KKK because they definitely owe it to you. Okay, that's crazy to me that these like. Okay, please forgive me if this reveals ignorance. I could have sworn that there was some aspect of uh like the Holocaust that involved reparations for the Jews. Am I wrong? Somebody drop in the chat. I'll get to it eventually. I feel like there was a returning of like money and jewelry. I don't know. I feel like I read that a long time ago, but I don't know. Amen. Enjoy raising nuggets. Thank you, sis. Like this means so much to me because I have chosen to prioritize him. And it's really you can't go wrong. This is why it's crazy to me. I'm like, when people be saying all kinds of stuff, I'm like, yo, I'm grateful that I have this opportunity to be with my child. He's not going to be this age forever. Work will be there. I'm working now, but I can return full time later. Simple Living said they're all labeling the illegal aliens as white people on their license. Ooh, child. In my opinion, they will definitely use them against mainly black people. Oh, absolutely. And I seen it's very crazy to me. It's very crazy. Like even in Canada, again, I don't want to state misinformation, but like I swear, like with the war and stuff in Ukraine, they were granting immediate access, like citizen access to some of these Ukrainians because they white. Meanwhile, they just ended, I think a few months ago, the Mexican I want to say refugee or asylum program. Just out the blue, they just ended it. So to me, it's very clear that immigrants, even the way people use the word immigrant, you notice that they don't. Do you notice they don't say it much with white folks? It's very crazy. I returned 18 months. Yes, Deidre. I love this for you. Thank God. Absolutely. Then I can do what I want. Sis, I am excited for you and I hope you enjoy it and soak it in. Absolutely. No work life balance. It is so key. This is one of my greatest lessons here that I've learned is a work life balance is essential. And you here's the thing in America is that again, just this is my perspective. I feel like the reason why people don't have that or it's hard to get that is because they keep us so busy. And whether it's like it's not just work, they're throwing stuff, hammering you constantly, especially if you're a person of color. They're hammering you constantly with bullshit and negative, stuff. You don't have time to think about that. You think it's just a dream and a fallacy. That joint probably don't even come into your head. And now I'm a whole therapist, and I did not have a work life balance, y'all. I did not have a work life balance. I took the last job that I took as a full time therapist. This is before I quit and worked at the library for 3 months in rebellion. These motherfuckers had me working. They advertise it as you work 4 10s. I've never worked at like a 10-hour day before in therapy, but you work 4 10s. Fifth day you're off. Try to make it sound real good. Oh my God, these people wicked. They're wicked. They're wicked. I was working 10 hours, and these mother truckers packed. I swear one day I had 11 clients. 11 clients. I know that I was definitely seeing 10. I had to make sure they put in a lunch break, which is illegal. You know what I did? Listen, and I shouldn't even have to do that. I saw, and I was new. See, they know what they're doing. I was new, and I saw her making my schedule because I was sitting right there. And I'd never seen nobody like, I've worked my ass off in other therapy jobs, but this is like straight from the pits of hell. This woman packed out my schedule. The sessions were 38 minutes. And then she was like, oh, yeah, we don't do lunch break here. You just have to like go in between the clients. You just like, she was telling me they don't take lunch break. This is the boss. So I said to her, I have a medical condition. I don't even know if I said medical condition or I just told her like I think I remember actually saying to her, I am not a good person if I don't get to eat my lunch. I need to eat my lunch to function. Because I did this at the same place before. You're not going to tell me that I'm not getting a lunch because I know legally I'm supposed to get one. I'm not one of those people taking an hour or 90 minutes or taking 5 smoke breaks. I don't even do that. I just need 30 minutes to myself, which really should be an hour. You're not going to take that from me. And, all these other people, my friends was doing that. I'm not doing that shit. And I knew they were talking about me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If you're going to put 10 people on my schedule, bitch, I need my motherfucking lunch break. And it was so crazy because this, like I said, therapy. Therapy. Okay. It was so nuts. I just felt like, again, the hamster wheel. And even they put 15 minutes into my schedule to eat, y'all. 15 minutes. And remember, some people didn't have that. I said to them, okay, because I had turned that job down. And then they called me back and was like, why'd you turn down the position? Why'd you turn down the position? We really liked you. And we're willing to offer you. They said, listen, I tried to negotiate my salary. They said that's the highest they're gonna pay for my level of experience. I think I was like 5 or 6 years in at that point. And they were like, that's the highest that we're gonna pay. Okay. So then and then the hours were crazy. It was like I didn't like the hours. So they called me back, offered me, I think it wasn't even a lot, but they offered me 2 grand more. And then they said you could do the 410s, but you get to pick your hours. So I said okay, because it was like closer to where I live. That's the only reason why I was leaving my old job in the city. I was working in Philly. So, and I was making way more money in Philly, but the Philly, by the time I took this job, the taxes would work out to be the same, right? Baby, this was the worst decision I made in my life, job wise. This job was from the fucking gates of hell. Oh, you hear me? You hear me? It was, this was wickedness and sin. Like, I don't even know. And my clients to this day, thank God for the feedback you get from your clients, because I knew that I wasn't my best self, but they loved the work that I did with them. But I always felt bad because I'm like, I could be doing better, but they got me working slave hours here. And it was so crazy. And I'm gonna tell you something else, guys. This is what I'm gonna tell you something else. This shit is crazy. Hold on to your hats. This shit is so crazy. This is why I say I ain't working for nobody else. Unless I had to, right? Unless it was a situation where I had to. So remember I told y'all when I tried to negotiate my salary the first time before I turned down the job, and I should have listened to that was my intuition telling me, girl, run like hell, but I didn't listen, child. I didn't listen. I put chains on my own feet. So they said that was the max they can give me, but they came back and offered me more money. I was talking to a friend of mine on the job, like after I left, right? After I left, moved to Canada. Oh man, this makes my blood boil to this day. And I have to really, I had to do a lot of work with myself because I couldn't be mad at my friend. It's not my friend's fault. But I really struggled with it because she's white. So listen, my friend told me when she came into the job, she came in after me, y'all. Remember, I want you to remember a few things. She came in after me. They were blowing a bunch of smoke up my ass, talking about how amazing I was. I was a top biller. Everybody should be like Tamar, but you don't approve my PTO. They would be making comments about how the team is not billing enough and we're not bringing in enough money to cover our salaries, like just crazy abusive stuff. Then my friend, when I talked to her after I left that job, y'all, I'm getting loud, sorry. She told me, how did we end up talking about it? We ended up talking, and this mattered to me because I left now. And I was telling her, we started talking about salaries and stuff. And I was like, yeah, she still worked there. I don't know if she still does now. I haven't talked to her in a long, long time. She told me, now she has the same level of experience as I do. Now she did work a slightly different job before coming there, but we still have the same level of experience. We're both licensed. She said that they were paying her, the figure she told me, it was $12,000 more than what I was getting. Okay. And remember, I was working 410s. I think she was working like a few hours less. That was like what she negotiated with them. What else? I think she was probably like the second top biller in the agency. $12,000 more. Meanwhile, they're telling us that, not me, because I was billing my hours, they're telling the other therapists that are new, who she's also new, not new to the agency, but new to this particular job, that we're not making enough money to cover our salaries. But they paying her $12,000 more than what I was getting, y'all. Do you see how these people wicked? Listen. And it was a predominantly white, but this is a lot of therapist jobs. It's predominant, like, unless one, other than even when I was in Philly, it was only like 3 of us that were people of color. It was crazy. But all our clients are Black and Hispanic. We had like 2 white kids. They even gatekeep the jobs that are like high paying. It's so crazy. They was paying this woman $12,000 more than me. When I tell you I was hot, don't let these people blow smoke up your ass. Let them show you in dollars and coins. If they're telling you you're top this, you're top that, and remember, I negotiate. I always negotiate my salary. I never just take what you're going to give me. Okay, maybe my first job out of grad school, sure, I'm entry level, whatever. But you're not fitting to slave me for this amount of money. I'm like, I knew that coming out. I got all these student loans, baby. This not gonna pay my bills. Okay, so if you want me to work, you're gonna have to pay me more. You're gonna have to pay me the upper end. They told me they were paying me the upper end, and they're paying fucking wicked. Let me keep reading these comments, child. They do on purpose. It's abusing you and smiling in your face. This part, Deidre. This part. I cannot stand. I cannot stand these racist ass motherfuckers. I can't. Like, it's so crazy to me. It's so crazy. I couldn't even enjoy my PTO. But y'all bitch asses got the nerve to talk about, oh yeah, tomorrow's your top biller. Tomorrow's your bottom bitch. That shit is crazy. Simply living. I wish I could have, but in America, especially California, I was lucky to get the 6 months I got. Yes, she is very lucky, and that should be the norm. It's wicked. I was just saying, making fun of people of EBT and one and the same. They should not make fun of it. No, they shouldn't. It's crazy. They shouldn't. Absolutely should not. Um, Pressure. Does Canada still have seasonal fruits? Yes, they do, sis. Yes, they do. Yo, Europe though, they say Europe, the food is so pure. People who have celiac go to Europe and they can eat the pasta, allegedly. I stopped labeling myself. I want the same treatment and money. Oh yeah, I listen to Deidre. Okay, Deidre is one of our elders. She's a beautiful elder, but listen to her. I don't put that shit on applications. Like, well, but like when I was still applying and stuff, I stopped years ago. And there's still ways that they can tell if they want to be super racist, but I like, it's always optional. Don't put it. Get in the door first. They can be surprised when you walk in the door. Oh, you the one with that resume? Oh, you the one with all this? Yeah, bitch. You thought I was a Becky, weren't didn't you, dumbass? Anyway, super facts. The distractions they throw at us is unending. Yeah, they try to keep us distracted, so you don't got time to think about nothing else. You can't take care of yourself. You can't do no self care. You're steady worrying about racist people running you over. It's crazy. I left the job once because I knew they wanted me to train a new manager over me. Yup. See, spider sense. I asked for a raise. They said no. I left. Gems, pick them up. Leonard said, 10 lock people in one day. No thank you. Listen, the joint it was crazy. I never worked. No, the most clients I ever seen in a day was 6 clients in a regular therapy job, and that's a lot. That's a lot, because those other jobs you're doing for like 50-minute sessions, right? I never seen no shit about no 38-minute session. Listen, if you go someplace where they offer you a 38-minute session, run. Don't go to any place that offers your session should be at least 45 minutes. You can't get shit done in less than that. Period. I said it. Damn, they straight busted. Yo, I was so I'm still mad. I'm still mad to this day. And I had to do a lot of work because I said this is not my friend's fault. Yes, she's a part of the construct because she white. And I don't even think she got it. I don't even know if she got it. Like, that joint pissed me off too, because I'm like, and I told her, I was like, they told me. This is what they told me. This is the upper limit. First they said they can't give me no more, but when I turned down the job, they were like, oh yeah, well you can make your own hours and we'll offer you 2,000 more. Still 10 grand short. Where the other $10,000 at? And she came in after me to put it in perspective. Child, let me stop. I was about to say something bad, but I don't want that to happen to the clients. Anyway, moving right along. Tranquillo. Nasty and Shartines, they always be nasty for no reason. None. It's crazy. So crazy. They mad because they lie to themselves. Superior weird. Exactly. I'm telling y'all need to like catch these gems. See, I've thought about this for a long time, and I know a lot of y'all probably have too. Why do people focus so much energy? Again, we're talking about the racists, okay? That's who the saltines are, the racist white supremacists. Why do you have to spend so much energy reminding me how inferior you think I am? You must feel threatened by me. Why? Because we got power. I'm telling you, I figured the shit out. This is why groups of people get mad when we're not rallying behind them for their social cause. But what about the Bracks? What about the Bracks? It's crazy. Okay, now you see what then happened around there to affirmative action. Okay, now, and I say this, we're not talking about all the Asians. We're talking about the ones who was in their feelings and they were mad. Okay, about our affirmative action. And they thought if that got stripped away, they were going to be the next in line next to the whites, and that they were going to get into Princeton and Yale, and because the blacks were getting in the way. Ciao. It's just going to be a bunch of legacy exceptions. You just empowered people to do more fuckery to you. But carrying on, carrying on. It's crazy. People just be hating. They be shooting themselves in the foot, and I'm just here for it. I am here for it because you thought you were trying to, do something, and it's like, no, you're. Is it better yet? Is it better yet? It's so crazy to me. It's so crazy because I'm the type of person I'd be looking out for everybody, but sometimes you can't. Even like other groups of people, they don't have your best interest in mind, and it's sad, but it's true. Not all of them, but some. Like it. I just wish we would stop fighting so much as a group of people, because that's one of the things I think other groups of people have over us. They're more united. Okay, they're more united, and we just be looking for ways to tear each other down. Not all of us, but some of us. And I think that, if we can master moving away from that, we can just get so much more done, right? And justice for one is injustice for all. Absolutely. Just wait and time will tell. And that's what that makes sense to me. Same thing with the Holocaust. This is why I don't understand why some Jewish people could be like this. Because when I hear about the Holocaust, I'll never forget the moment I learned about it, and it clicked in my head, and I got very fascinated, and I wanted to read. I think it was like the first thing was like learn about Anne Frank, and because I was a young girl and she was a young girl, and I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so many like similarities here, and this is horrible and this is wicked. And how comes as a young child that could resonate with me and be like, no, this is wrong, you know, and be excited when that ends. But there's other people who, like, how could you survive something? How could your ancestors survive something like the Holocaust, but you lack compassion for another group of people? How? Do y'all understand what I'm asking? Like, how could Jewish people survive the Holocaust, and some of them, are pro genocide of another group of people? Like, that's crazy to me. I just can't reconcile that. Just like I can never see myself promoting slavery for anyone. Like, and I wasn't even through it myself. But what they say, is it epigenetic memories, of your ancestors? Because it's like in you, it's in your body, it's in your DNA. But that's crazy to me. Like, I can't imagine a situation where I would wish that on somebody, or I would wish genocide upon somebody. Thank you so much, Deirdre. I just don't understand that at all. Like, I don't get that. And so that's why when I see people doing that, or behaving like this, I'm like, something's off. Something is off if you think this is okay, and you think I'm supposed to piggyback with you and support you in this. Not going to happen. Like, that's crazy to me. And I think that's why sometimes I get sad, but that's why some Black people, they just withdraw themselves completely from certain situations. I told you I did that with the Ukrainian situation. Like, this is the new tactic that Black people are doing. It's called, I think it's psychological self-care. You can't give your energy out to everything in every situation, especially for people who don't have your best interest in hand. Okay. And I know that for those people who are Christians, right? Like, that's counter to what you're taught. Like, in Christianity, you're taught to pray for your enemy. Um, you wish people well regardless, right? I'm not saying that I don't wish people well, like, but I'm gonna withdraw how much energy I put into you if you mean me bad. I'm not finna worry about you. Okay. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. Simple Living said, we were so united in early days, and then we did away with segregation because Black people were doing so well on our own. It's been downhill since then. You know what's crazy, Simple Living? I've come across a few comments probably within the last year. And at first, it took me aback because I'm like, oh, damn, people advocating for segregation. And then I was like, yo, it's all in your perspective, how you look at it, right? There were thriving Black businesses, okay? We were supporting those businesses. And, I think some people just, like, obviously people just want more rights, which I'm all for. but in some ways that like created a loss for our community. So I can see why there's some people who feel that way. Like I can totally see it now because the black businesses suffered as a result of that, right? And there's still people now who, I'd be reading comments and stuff, and one person was like, "That's why I charge a black tax." It's just stupid shit. I'm like, what kind of business you got that you can charge people different prices? Like, child, I can't. I cannot. Be in the world and not of it. I'm over these weirdos long ago. And you have to decenter certain things, right? Like you can't that's one of the things that's very hard. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I mastered it. I'm working on myself on decentering things. Um because the more energy you give it, it's not that you don't want to be aware or pay attention to things, but the more energy you give it, the more it takes from you. I think about things like, some of the health issues that our community faces, right? And, like part of my work that I do is trauma therapy. And I want to go and get more training on like the somatic side of trauma. Like some of it I know, but like I'm realizing, like I think I've said this before, talk therapy for some people does not get rid of the trauma. Right? Some people can go through rounds of talk therapy and come out on the other side. But then there are some people who they need more. They need a little bit extra because it's like the trauma is trapped in their body. And more research is showing that that leads to health issues, right? Like it's kind of wild, but there's more research about that. And so like I think about like current things that we go through as individuals, um intergenerational things we've experienced, whether it's slavery or abuse or whatever it is. Think about how that impacts, our health. Like it's really the body really is remarkable. But like think about how that stuff impacts it, and how I think that's why some certain like medical conditions plague, more groups than others. Like all of those things are things that I've been paying attention to, even for myself, right? What has trauma done to my body? You know, how does it make it difficult for me to heal in a physical sense, an emotional sense? So these are all things that I'm paying attention to. But some of it is like, yeah, it's wild. It's really wild. Like you learn about, um, yeah, like it could be anything. It could be high blood pressure. It could be any type of chronic stuff. It's sometimes trauma can have a hand in that, right? It's wild because of it's like it's assaulting your body. It's not just your psyche. See, we focus so much on those things affecting our psyche that we don't realize it affects, larger systems. And that's why it's so important. Like I think really our mental health should be prioritized more, and it's becoming more. But like when I just started in this field, it kind of felt like a nice to have, and in many ways it's still a nice to have for a lot of people, but I don't look at it as a nice to have anymore. I think it's essential. It doesn't have to look like therapy, that it doesn't have to look like that, but I think that it's very important to prioritize our emotional health because all of our systems are connected, all of them. And I think in a Western world, there's a lot of like compartmentalization that you see, right? Even the way we treat things, we treat diseases and problems. Oh, take this vitamin, just vitamin D, take vitamin K for this, take, like it's not holistic. Whereas like in Eastern countries, they're looking a lot of times at just more than just one thing, right? They're looking at it from a more holistic perspective. And so I just think that that makes so much more sense to me because whenever I look at that lens with clients or myself, it makes more sense. It's not just one thing. Just like eating, right? Like eating doesn't just affect you for your physical health or weight loss. That joint affects your mental health too. You know, eat some crappy food multiple days in a row and compare that to a week when you're making your own food or you're, getting some fruits and vegetables and stuff. You're going to have a different week. I'm telling you. So these are things though they don't want to tell you. They just try to trick you into thinking, well, you just need this bottle and this supplement. And hey, I'm not anti-supplement at all. I love me a good supplement, but like it's just so compartmentalized, right? And that holism isn't promoted, because you can't bottle holism. You can bottle parts of holism and sell it to people, but you can't be like, here's holism on the shelf right here in this jar, 5.99. It's not gonna happen. Simple Living said the mentally ill and addicts are getting younger. I've seen them come at the tender age of 18, and they had been having issues since early teens. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And it's wild. It's very crazy and very sad. And I think it just needs to be prioritized more, um, because it's just a sad situation. And I really feel for, especially people who become addicts early. you know, I'm not going to say you don't have a chance, because that's not true, but it sure is a hell of a lot harder, because you're actually physically changing your brain chemistry. This is why they tell people it's not just a joke. Like, if you wait a little bit just to try certain things, it's much better for you. Your brain can bounce back a lot better. But if you become an alcoholic at 9 and 13, baby, you're significantly reducing your chances to be able to, fight that shit off in the future. So, anyway, guys, this is all I had for y'all. I'm bad. I said it's gonna be here for an hour. It's an hour and 53 minutes, but I really enjoyed the conversation, and I'm really grateful for everybody who was here. And whether you're in the bushes or in the chat, I just want you to know I really appreciate you. Thank you for adding to the conversation. It was super fun, and enlightening, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I don't know when I'll be back, but if so a lot of y'all weren't here in the beginning. In about 2 months, 2 months, child, my voice is cracking. I'll be able to be more consistent. I'll talk more about that in a future video. I know that's a long ways from here, but it'll go fast, hopefully. And my goal is to be able to go live every week. So that would be nice. Maybe I can go live during Kwame's nap. Anyway, y'all, I love y'all. Have a good day. I need to go get some work done, child. What time is it? It's 12:20. Yep, I gotta go get some lunch and get some work done. Peace and blessings. Big up. Take care, y'all. Bye.